Now we do have some news. I'll start off with the quick thing before I get to the thing that's going to take a bit of time to go through. The quick thing is good news for a handful of countries. Is that DC Universe Infinite is finally launching in some places that aren't the US. So rejoice, Canada, UK, Australia, Brazil, Mexico, more to follow, but those are the ones that are getting it soon. So yeah, look forward. April 22nd, I believe, is the date, at least for the UK. I don't know if it was varied for the other places. April 28th for the UK. I apologize. New Zealand and Australia are March 29th, so they actually will already have it at the time of recording this, which is nice. So yeah, so it's over basically the month of April. These locations are getting DC Universe Infinite, which you could get it before if you knew how to work around with a VPN, but this definitely makes it much easier, more convenient.
So I thought that if you subscribed back when DC had the DC Universe, you got something similar. Because I remember Connor talking about it, but I don't remember the particulars. But yeah.
Got something similar or what? What are you talking about?
So it wasn't quite known as Infinite, but you would have access to certain runs through the app. Like, so it was meant for the streaming before they folded into.
Oh sure, yeah. I mean that was
HBO
always basically DC Universe Infinite is basically just what DC Universe was with all the shows stripped out because they're all on HBO Max now.
Right, but then they added a bunch more books.
They added more books, but I mean, it was always a lot of books. It was never just like a handful, I don't think.
Gotcha.
No, I mean, I've dabbled with DC Universe Infinite with the VPN before, and it's kind of a pain sort of working around and having the VPN on your tablet or whatever, you know. So this is just nice and convenient. It'll make it easier for more people to keep up with, or just dive into old comics or stay 6 months behind current and... You know, and by all means, do you know what I should probably do? I should probably like retweet like our episode from 6 months ago and say, hey, if you're reading comics on DC Infinite, this is the episode that you're in sync with.
Yeah.
Enjoy this episode. Why not? So hey, I mean it's a fun it's a convenient service. You know, if previously in the multiverse ever gets back off the ground when Connor has more time, then this will be a very useful tool to go back to. So, by all means, good news all around, at least for Canada, UK, Australia, Brazil, and Mexico. But they promised that it would be going international in the summer of 2020. So it's taken them nearly 2 years.
Understandable with certain things that have happened.
I don't know. Does that affect this though?
You would assume it would affect the workforce, right? The people that would have to put together the infrastructure and whatnot. So especially summer 2020, right?
I don't know. I don't know if I buy that gets them 2 years to just launch one outside US location, but okay.
Yeah. Maybe not the full, but definitely I would say part of it. I mean, maybe we could have had it by summer of last year.
Like the fact that Canada didn't have it is mind blowing to me.
Yeah, so if you're in Toronto, the people across the river there get it, but you don't. That's insane to me.
Yeah. So even Canada had to wait, but hey, there you go. That's that. The other bit of news this week, though, and it is a juicy bit of news, is DC are once again doing a tournament of potential books which fans can vote on, and the winner will become a book. It'll be done. It'll still be digital first in October, and then come out in stores and Comixology. Obviously, Comixology is still digital, but I mean it's a DC Infinite original first. But that means we have 16 titles here with 16 synopses, which we are now going to go through and give opinions on. It's like a mini solicits, Matt. So
yeah, but luckily for you, I already read these in bed the other night. So to see which ones.
Well, I did not, so I'm reading them all, and not just for me though, for the audience too. But I do want to complain before I start this though that they're calling it a round robin again when it is definitely not a round robin.
It's not how a round robin works.
So. This is a single elimination tournament.
Yes. They I mean, I get why they call it a round robin. Maybe you don't want to call it a playoff, but it's definitely a playoff.
So yeah, this is
I also wish that they gave us the creative teams.
Yeah, which I think they did the first time. Did they not?
I believe they did.
Yeah. This time it's just the titles and the descriptions. But at least if it was just the titles, it'd be a nightmare talking about them. At least there's something to
100%.
discuss. But yeah, so they'll get a 6-issue series, the winner. But here we'll walk through them. So here we go. So the first match, the first round matchup, because they're sort of presenting these images, but like it's like the two that are fighting. What's interesting, this article that I'm looking at actually has, at the time they posted this, which I think was Thursday,
March 31st.
Yeah, they have like the current like percentages of who's winning, so I can tell it's a couple of days out of date now, but I can tell you who was winning at the time of this post. So first up, we have Hawkman and Hawkwoman, the Changeling. The description reads as follows: Hawkman and Hawkwoman have never had children together, but they have with other people.
Yes, not with each other.
They know that for a fact. Then who is Hector Hall, the hot-headed, razor-winged teen who claims to be their son? Can they trust their own memories or each other? So that's Hawkman and Hawkwoman, the Changeling.
Yeah, I do like how it is, it looks like Hector Hall, which is, if you know your Hawk lore, but it's spelled like from Thanagar too, so it's playing with both. I do like that, and the concept of a changeling in mythology.
It's what Hawkman needs is more convoluted, like variations of everything.
That's why I kind of like it, because it's very much in brand with it. But also the concept of a changeling in mythology is, fairies would steal a baby and swap it out with, a goblin. Maybe not a goblin, but another type of creature. There was a real fun movie. What was it called? Tim had me watch it, but it was actually pretty good.
The Changeling?
And it wasn't The Changeling, but it was about a changeling. I wish I could remember it. It was like The Clearing or something like that. Guy lives at the edge of the woods. His baby starts acting weird, and it ends up being a story of a changeling. But yeah, this seems pretty cool. I mean, he's playing with the mythology and the hawk, wonkiness. So
that's a good word for it, wonkiness.
Yeah.
That's going up against Wildcat, 9 Lives. Wildcat spent 8 of his 9 lives, showing the ropes to some of DC Universe's heaviest hitters, and he's got the scarred knuckles and reset bones to prove it. But now he's only got one more life to go. How fearless would you be if you knew it was your last round in the ring? Matt wants this one as well.
I want this one 100%. At the time that they posted this was down by 1%, and it's very narrow.
It's 51 to 49% on this. Yeah.
So please, people, if you care about me, go vote for Wildcat and Lives, please. As much as I love Hawkman, I like Ted Grant that much more. This one too, like fighter at the end. He's got one life left to go, one more round. Like, this speaks to me.
This is just funny to me how conflicted you are.
Yeah.
So next up, we have the questions grand solution. Notably, that's plural there, the questions.
Yes.
What happens when people from all walks of life are activated as faceless vigilantes, each forced to solve an alternate reality game where the stakes are life and death? That's the question, but does Renee Montoya have the solution?
A little bit cheesy with that write-up.
It's a bit cheesy. I'm all for more Renee Montoya question stories.
Well, and just the idea too that there's these people playing an alternate reality game where they're taking on the question persona, right? When you say faceless vigilantes, very interesting. This one is. I wish I knew the creative team, on this.
Yeah, if Greg Rucka's name was slapped on this, it would win. Well, I'd like to think it would anyway.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's going up against Constantine and the Demon, Vacation from Hell. Well, questions is winning for me here. There's no doubt about that.
No.
Arcane Gale. What? Arcane
Gale meets Hellish Fury. You're reading it like it was a name.
Yeah, I was. That's why I was confusing myself. Isn't that why we capitalized? Arcane Gale meets Hellish Fury. John Constantine is forced to play host to Etrigan the Demon, and the pair embark on a deeply personal and potentially apocalyptic mission. Journeying back home to Liverpool, Constantine must confront ghosts from his past, and Etrigan. Entrigan. That's the demon who's like the bouncer because he lets you in. So he's the Entrigan. Yeah. And Etrigan isn't exactly the first choice for an ally. So
this sounds like those movies, The Trip, like The Trip 2. Who's that British comedian?
Rob Brydon and Steve Coogan.
Yes. Sounds like that, but with Constantine and the Demon, and I'm here for that one.
Yeah, I'm upset to say that Vacation from Hell is winning by 5% here.
Oh no, on here it's 9%. I got 44 to 55. Actually, it's 11.
Yeah, I've got the same thing. I just took it as 5 away from 50.
Gotcha.
Good point. Yeah, I'm not going to work out the math. I was just 55 to 44, right? That's the ratio. So you're all bastards, is what I'm saying.
Yep.
So let it be known. Next up, we have Suicide Squad Dark, and it's notable that the font here is much like Dark Metal. That's that font from the events. A team of occult misfits and monsters assembled by Amanda Waller and led by Vampire Batman are forced into a mind-melting suicide mission to assassinate Earth 13's League of Shadows. I mean, I can't deny that they're going all out with the kitchen sink there with that one.
Let me see, which one's Earth 13? Is that? That's not the Magic Earth, is it?
I don't know.
Let's see.
I don't remember which Earth is which.
No, it is. It's where Super Demon. So the League of Shadows, that is their Justice League. So they are on a mission to assassinate that Earth's Justice League.
Interesting. That's up against Justice League Redacted. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't sound like that's something they're going to reveal later. There's just the title is Justice League Redacted, just to clarify that. So Green Arrow has watched many heroes, the great, the good, the kind, be forever scarred by the darkness they swear to fight. Rather than sit by and let any more of his friends fall to the festering abyss, he decides to create a Justice League Black Ops team of fighters who can survive a few more shadows, because as far as he's concerned, they may already be lost. Green Arrow's team of Nemesis, Killer Frost, Manhunter, Metamorpho, and Cheshire are needed more than ever. Green Arrow was worried about what happens when you look into the abyss of the eye. That goes double when Johnny Sorrow and Merlin team up. So, inherently, I just like the sound of this more than Suicide Squad Dark anyway. But you throw in Johnny Sorrow as the villain, and I'm a little interested. And I'm happy to say that this is winning 56 to 43 in this matchup right now, so that's good. All right, so that's that matchup. Next up, we got Firestorm Fourth World Problems. That's a funny title. I mean, I'll get that. When Ronnie Raymond and Jason Rush make the startling discovery that the Firestorm Matrix contains a spark of the life equation, Darkseid and his army turn their sights towards the teenage nuclear heroes. But can Ronnie and Jason put their differences aside to combine into Firestorm, or will Darkseid claim the Matrix for himself and Apocalypse? Do you know, Firestorm is one of these characters that has never had that book. There's never been the Firestorm book that people point to and go, that's the Firestorm book, you need to read it, it's the one that will convince you the character's worth having around. Mm-hmm. It's never happened. He's had alright guest appearances and some things, but that's about it. If they told me a good creative team for this, that sounds like a vaguely interesting premise. But
tying him to the whole fourth world thing with the life equation, because it's this nuclear thing that fuses two people's personalities, it's actually kind of cool.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
There's some stuff there to be played with. Masking up against Kid Flash, The Speed of Fear. That's a cool title. Reverse Flash meets with Parallax in an unprecedented combination of the Speed Force and the fear-based yellow power ring to create the deadly Speed Ring to shatter Oa's central Green Lantern battery. A confused and isolated Kid Flash, Wallace West to be specific, must chase Thawne across a variety of alien worlds to stop him and the Sinestro Corps, while his own powers die because of Kid Flash's slow disconnection with the Speed Force. Interesting.
Seems like a hat on a hat, right?
This feels like a mashup of some things for the sake of just mashing them up, which isn't necessarily bad.
No, but again, do we have to do the destruction of the power battery again?
Yeah, that's happened a lot, isn't it?
Yeah,
We've kind of been there, done that enough.
That said, Wallace taking precedent and his own, knowing what we know about his origin with Reverse Flash. I think that's pretty cool. How didn't they change it how Thawne influenced his version of Zoom, right? Because that was his dad.
Yes.
And he holds him for corrupting.
I mean, I never read that stuff because I dropped it like a lead brick, but
yeah. So
not that you get bricks made out of lead, but you know what I mean. Kid Flash is winning out of these two, 55-44. I would say there's none of these so far that have been like landslides. They've all been, the worst it's been is like 55-44.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's some rounding here because yes, I am aware that there is a percentage missing in that, but I assume it's just the way it's rounding. Next up, we got Black Canary, When Canaries Cry. When Black Canary intercepts an intelligence operative trying to deliver sensitive material on an encrypted disk, she finds herself plunged into the world of espionage to contend with an international consortium known as Mysterium. With the help of a French spy, Dinah must stop the shadow organization from instigating war for their own profit. Sounds kind of like classic Birds of Prey, just without Babs.
Yep. Well, and it's really tying Dinah back into the whole spy angle of her early career. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
That's going up against Green Lantern, The Light at the End of Forever. Okay. A dark, far future, a galaxy gripped by tyranny, when an elderly farmer in a backwater system is brutalized by the latest thugs with jetpacks and jackboots to call themselves lawmen, he remembers a forgotten past, an era of champions, a cadre of noble peacekeepers, long since vanished. His name, he's sure of it, is John Stewart. Whatever happened to the Green Lantern Corps, and is it too late to reignite the light? Do as I was reading the first part of that, I was thinking this is definitely one of the Lanterns who's like forgotten their past, or has just chosen to forget their past.
No, just John.
Yeah. Oh, no, it is one. I was right.
Well, I thought you meant like a random Lantern, like not necessarily.
No, I meant one of the main characters. But what I was expecting was that the description wouldn't tell us which one it was, and we could sit and theorize. But then by the end, it just told us that it was Judge Stewart. So never mind, no mystery.
I have current ones right now for a lot of these. So which one are we on? Canary and Green Lantern?
There's actually a mistake on the article for this because it says they're both at 54%, which can't be right.
And that's why I wanted to pull this up. So as of right now, Canary is beating Green Lantern 54-46.
Okay. Yeah, so it's basically this is still right. It's just that they've typed the same number twice.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Black Canary has more of a cult following now than Green Lantern does, bizarrely, which is weird because if you go back, 15 years, Green Lantern was like the hottest thing in comics, but times do shift. Black Canary's got a big following, so it doesn't surprise me all that much. Next up, we have DC Horror Presents Ghost Tour from Hell. It's kind of sad that the next DC Horror Presents book is in this and isn't just happening, but
I mean, I feel like if there's enough, I feel like these are still in their back pocket, right? Like,
sure. Although, seeing some of the words in this description, it's not maybe out of continuity, but it's got some DC characters in it. A frantic mother begs Madame Xanadu to help in finding her missing son, last seen on a ghost tour with friends. Xanadu's reading reveals that there's a nefarious being behind the disappearance in New Orleans. Enlisting the help of the demon Etrigan, more Etrigan, God, and Deadman, the trio quickly realize that they're on a ghost tour from hell, and they're no match for these supernatural kidnappers. I mean, that sounds like fun.
It better be Gentleman Ghost.
It's just, again, creative team would really help a lot. I think the art in this one especially would really sell me on it. That's going up against Animal Man, The Metamorphosis. Buddy Baker, aka Animal Man, has serious problems. His home life is in shambles. His daughter's powers are awakening, and the world needs him, but he's stuck. He needs change. Soon Animal Man will enter a cocoon, but when the metamorphosis is complete, what will emerge? I mean, I'm all for more Animal Man. We've not had a proper Animal Man since the early New 52, so...
Yeah.
And bizarrely, it was like one of the few books that I really, really liked at that time. Ghost Tour from Hell is winning 51% to 49%.
So as of right now, Ghost Tour from Hell is losing 48% to 52% to Animal Man.
Good. Animal Man should win. Yes.
Yeah. Now I want this Ghost Tour from Hell though. I mean, this is one of the first ones where it's like I could have either or. I don't have a strong feeling either way.
If Ghost Tour from Hell was up against some of the others, I'd be like, yeah, sure, let it win.
Yeah.
I want Animal Man more.
Yeah.
So
I just want more Dead Man. You know, I like Dead Man.
Oh, this one has the biggest difference out of the lot. So up next we have Green Lantern, The Birth of Conspiracy. In 1947, 3 events kindled America's fascination with UFOs: the Men in Black, flying saucer sightings, and the Roswell crash. 3 low-level government employees tasked with monitoring superheroes realized that one person was at all 3 events, Green Lantern, and he hasn't been seen since. Okay, that sounds great. I'm just gonna...
Someone's been reading Department of Truth, because that sounds very much like a story.
That just sounds like a good way to use that character in a sort of Elseworldy way. That just sounds like a fun time. And even the font that they've used for Green Lantern here is a bit more pulpy looking.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, it would take something really special, I think, to fight this. And I'm not so sure that Captain Carrot and his best friend Darkseid is the... As much as it sounds crazy and kind of like, oh, what's this going on? I'm not sure it's going to measure up. But here's the description. The interdimensional space epic no one asked for. I mean, that's true.
Yes.
Darkseid is trying to eliminate the newest new god, but the extremely furious...
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, we hate us too. At least it's been self-aware. I'll give it that. Zoo Crew is determined to reach their long foretold Captain Carrot first, before friendship ruins everything. Like, that sounds cute, but come on, this UFO Green Lantern story sounds too good.
Yeah, so I feel like in the hands of like a Mark Russell, this Captain Carrot and Darkseid, like superly overly...
I can see Mark Russell doing the Green Lantern one.
Well, yeah, too, but like he has a tendency, like his Flintstones was super self-aware and knew exactly what it was. But yeah, how do you fight the Green Lantern conspiracy book? You just don't.
UFO conspiracy book is a key part there. Yeah, this is Green Lantern at the time of the article. It was winning 62% to 37%. So this is the only one that has went over that 60-40 barrier.
Yep. So as of current time, it is 64 to 36. So not much.
So it's actually gotten even bigger. The gap's bigger.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. Well, there you go. Honestly, this Green Lantern book may be the one I want to win out of the whole batch so far. This is my running favorite, and I'll be mad at anything that beats it now, I think. Well, that said, I've still got more to look at. Next up, we have Superboy, the Man of Tomorrow. Determined to find his place in a strange universe, Connor Kent / Superboy Superboy leaves Earth behind, but his journey of self-discovery brings him face to face with a group of freedom fighters who challenge not just everything Connor stands for, but what it means to bear the Superman crest. Yeah, so Connor Kent Superboy. You know what? It's probably got an easy victory here in this first round, and the current percentages of 59 to 40 show that, because it's up against Cyborg, Cyber Gods, and I don't mean to be cruel here, but like I don't think a Cyborg book would ever win this.
I think it would be a very special one, but it seems like every Cyborg book is like, am I man or am I machine? And this is just more of that. Like,
I tried the New 52 book, we tried the one at the start of Rebirth, and it feels like they just keep doing the same thing, and
I don't feel like there's a market. I feel there is a market for Cyborg. Like, there's a reason he's been around for so long, and he's great on the Teen Titans. Not so much Justice League, where they kind of just used him as a teleporter. But he's a good character, and I just feel like they keep not finding the best creative for him. He's like a really good wrestler that just can't find a character, you know?
Like, something needs to change about him fundamentally to turn him into a main eventer. And They keep not doing that. So they keep trying to push him as someone who can carry a solo book, and it keeps not working because he still just is. I always say two-dimensional because there is depth to Cyborg, but it's very much one layer of
and
depth.
And we all know that, but it seems like they're only preoccupied with the man or machine aspect where, give me Vic Stone, trying to do good, for the next generation. And we all know he's a machine, right?
I mean, hell, see when they did that Warner Brothers thing where they announced, this is the plan, right? 6 years ago when they said this is our next few years of DC movies. And they said 2020 Cyborg solo movie. That may be the first time in my life where a studio told me they were going to do something, and I went, "No, you're not."
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I ever thought that to myself before that day, and I was like, I don't believe you're doing a Cyborg movie. I just don't believe it. And I mean, sure enough,
from what I remember watching on Doom Patrol, that version is pretty good.
He's fun in Doom Patrol.
A lot more in depth than Am I Man or Am I Machine? Like, he's trying to figure out.
There's a lot of his dad issues, you know, at play. There's good stuff in there.
Well, they made him fit in Doom Patrol, from what I know about Doom Patrol, really well. Where, he's an outcast, but he's trying to work his way back in, versus some of the other Doom Patrol members that just can't. Yeah, and he made a great opposite for Robot Man, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I get why they're pushing them. Like, the upper end of the characters is very, very white, and we need more diversity in the bigger books. We absolutely do. So I get why we do try to use Cyborg like we do, but they've not done anything to actually give him the depth to make him work at that level. And I feel like there's a better chance of other characters, new characters, rising to that level.
You want to go ahead and read this solicit basically?
Sure, I was planning on it, all right, Cyborg Gods. Cyborg has grown so powerful that he no longer needs to leave his cold metal lair. He fights the good fight, but only virtually, with cyborg replicas. Sounded very Ultron. When the supervillain Gizmo, as in the Gremlin,
Gizmo from what is it, the Fatal Five?
Yeah, I figured. I just wanted to make my joke. Gizmo and Clarion, the Witch Boy, mix magic and tech. They become powerful technomancers. Cyborg is joined by Beast Boy, who tries to remind him of his true power, his human spirit. Cyborg must reconnect with his human side and face the world, or Gizmo will become an omnipotent, unchallenged cyber god, and Clarion will get what he's always wanted: chaos and destruction. I mean,
it doesn't sound bad, but it made me roll my eyes when we got to his true power of the human spirit. And it's like, there's a story in here about how Cyborg feels like he doesn't have to leave. You know what I mean? Like, he sends out these drones or whatever.
I mean, I think there's a story here that is good about Man versus Machine, where it's him remembering his humanity. That's like, honestly, there's a reason why so many science fictions about robots have used that tactic, but I think the problem is that and obviously Punisher does better than Cyborg does in terms of just like being consistently more relished in like terms of having a good book or a fan base that really like his books. But I see a very similar problem to Punisher with Cyborg, in that with Punisher, okay, his family was killed and he becomes this badass, like no mercy vigilante taking down the people who did him wrong. And I'm sure Marvel have found ways to keep giving him new things to do, but certainly my perspective of just looking over at Punisher, and especially when they do new movies of Punisher, is that they just keep returning to the same origin story, because that's like all he really is the origin story. I feel like Cyborg has the same problem, where this Man or Machine story really should be one of the first stories you do with Cyborg, and then we have to move on and do other things. So it's just kind of funny that we're doing the distant future where he's just succumbed to the same plot again, just on a more extreme basis. And to be fair, like, even the Superboy description, like, I want to point this out, that sounds very vaguely just, it's a Superboy story, like saying he has to fight some villains and he has to like sort of consider what it means to wear the Superman crest. You could say that in any Superboy story ever written, that last line.
No, definitely.
So
but I still voted for Superboy because it's Connor Kent. Like, come on.
It's just because you're a mark. That's all that is.
Yeah, 100%.
So I don't really like either of these last two.
Because I'm not big on these. these two against, like, either way, I don't feel like they're making it past. Let's see how this goes, because they have the printout. So this will take on the winner of the Green Lantern conspiracy.
Yeah, Green Lantern conspiracy is winning at least 2 rounds. I'm putting it out there now.
Yeah, this is the sacrificial lamb to that. So let's see.
Because at least, because not that everyone has sounded great, but at least some of the ones that aren't great at least have some sort of premise that sounds unique or different, or at least that Kid Flash one. It's like, okay, it's a bit nonsensical, but at least they're saying things that are like, oh, we're smashing these things together to make something happen. These last two, it just kind of feels like, oh, it's the far future and Cyborg still going through the same thing. Superboy's just still questioning what it means to have the Superman emblem on his chest. Like, like being here, done that. Green Lantern UFO conspiracy sounds way more fun. So that is them. So I'll just read through the titles again just to summarize here for everyone. So you've got Hawkman and Hawkwoman the Changeling going up against Wildcat 9 Lives. You got the Questions Grand Solution going up against Constantine and the Demon Vacation from Hell. You have Suicide Squad Dark going up against Justice League Redacted. You have Firestorm Fourth World Problems going up against Kid Flash The Speed of Fear. You have Black Canary When Canaries Cry going up against Green Lantern and the Light at the End of Forever. You have DC Horror Presents Ghost Tour from Hell going up against Animal Man The Metamorphosis. You have Green Lantern The Birth of Conspiracy versus Captain Carrot and his best friend Darkseid. You have Superboy The Man of Tomorrow versus Cyborg Cyber Gods. So Green Lantern Birth of Conspiracy is definitely my favourite out of all them. I also would not mind Animal Man and the Metamorphosis. What was the other one that I kind of liked? Justice League Redacted, I'd say, sounds pretty decent. Questions, I like the sound of. And while I make fun of Matt, I do think the Wildcat book does sound like at least a less used character to like have a nice little mini about.
But like all of these, I wouldn't say these aren't popularity contests. It's not like they put. I don't see any Batman.
No, there's no Batman. I mean,
in any of these,
I think the sad
or Wonder Woman, or Superman.
The sad truth is the Batman books will definitely sell, so they don't have to put them in the tournament.
Right.
They'll just greenlight them instead.
Didn't Robbins win this last year?
It is a little bit sad that the winner last year, we tried one issue and went, this is a bit meh.
Yeah.
This is a bit of shit.
Yeah, and then when they got to the finale, they put who the creative teams were. And so it was Robbins, which was Tim Seeley, and Valdemar Rivas.
So they didn't give us creative teams then at this point?
No.
So we didn't get them till the end. Okay, that's interesting.
Right. Which also helps with voting too, because you just don't want people voting for a popular writer. You know what I mean? Like this gives you're just voting for the concept in theory.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. I actually think voting for the creative team would be more beneficial for quality's sake. Like, it matters who's writing the book. Like, it absolutely does.
No, right. So how they did it last year was the pitches, and then after round 1, you get the concept art for the ones that win. Round 2, you get the creative teams. Round 3 is the full single-page previews, and then round 4 are 10-page sneak peeks. So it sounds like they at least have, on some of these, you would think, they have the stuff ready to go with a lot of them. So who knows if this is going to be any different. But yeah, hopefully, I'm really rooting for Ted Grant versus, the Wildcat versus Green Lantern Conspiracy. Those are my 2 top.
Green Lantern Birth of Conspiracy is my pick to win it. If it doesn't win it, I will be mad at all of you. And I'm sure I spoke positively about the concept of Robins last year because it was a fun concept. I just really didn't like the first issue that much. Mm-hmm. Some of the characterization just felt a bit off. Tim Seeley let us down. What can I say? But yeah, there you go. So there's your round robin. Go vote if you haven't already. And if you do miss at least this first round, you'll get a chance to vote in round 2. When it's down to 8 potential winners. And I suspect that Green Lantern, The Birth of Conspiracy, will still be an option at that point. So you go and vote for that still, please. Thank you.